So growing up in the church, it seems like service has been a really important element in your life. And in your final year of your degree, you put up a pop-up space called The City That Builds.
Yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about how you're giving back to your community through architecture, and how you're bringing those voices to, when you sit at the table, you're bringing, other voices along with you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I started the beginning of my final year project, you do, you have one kind of topic that you do one full year, fully dedicated into it. And I was like I wanted it to matter, and I wanted it to be something that would be useful for the future instead of just something that would sit in a book and go in the library. And so I was thinking about, my city in Porirua and what could be something that would be initiating for this moment, but also something that could evolve for the generations to come. And so everyone had been looking at that time in the city centre, like where the mall is, kind of coming out of the mall.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah. So I looked and focused on the harbour. And so Porirua means two harbours. So obviously the city is built around these two harbours. And in some ways it was also me, on one hand it was like I wanted it to be a big enough project that other people could feel like they could somehow be a part of it. And then on the other hand there was like this underlying theme of Pasifika people returning to the water, and how moana and the ocean has been so instrumental for, our ancestors and their process of navigation to these other countries, and how moana is the thing that kind of combines everybody and it's a collective identity. And so, and then on top of that, the relationship of like the landscape with, Ngāti Toa, which had been disenfranchised from the harbour because there was this huge reclamation of land. And now there was just big box buildings on the edge, and there was this like not a really great relationship with people to the harbour's edge. And if you think about any other big city that you've been to, that's like really fun and awesome. There's these water edges that have lots of stuff happening.
That's the
people
feature,
on the edge, there's like people sipping their coffee and riding their bikes and stuff. And so I was like, we need to have this in Porirua. And the reason why I love public space is that it kind of democratizes and gets rid of like a hierarchy of who can use it. So anybody can use it. It's not like the rich people can use it and only like these certain groups of people can use it. It's accessible for everybody. So that was my thinking behind my final year project. And so I looked at how can we orientate the city towards the harbour, and what are the ways we can do that. And so I came up with a toolkit of architecture ideas that you could deploy over time. And so I was like identifying different themes, art, housing, industry, businesses, all the things that make up a city, and what are the things that we could do right now that won't take a lot of money or investment, and then what are the things that maybe could be implemented in the future, or things that take a longer time, such as a building. And so I tested out a few of those, and one of the ones I tested out was an art installation, and I put it on the harbour, and it was this big billboard that was of a drawing that I had done, which was called The City That Waits, and it was a drawing underwater to say that there's so much potential in the water. And so I basically put this 3 metre by 6 metre billboard like bang on the harbour's edge to say, hey, like let's do something here. And then second to that, I did a pop-up space, which was to invite people of the city to start having a conversation about what they want their city to look like, and to have that in a public space as well. And so I had a few design interactives that people could comment about, put a sticker on a map, something as simple as putting a sticker on a map just gets somebody thinking about, actually, yeah, I would love a cafe here. I would love to occupy this space, and I'd love to ride my bike along this edge. And it's those things that enabling those actions or enabling those moments are what designers do, and is what architects do, and are thinking about constantly, is how do we enable people to use this space that they would enjoy. Because it actually comes down to well-being, and if there are more options that you have, those things contribute to how a community feels. And
I think that's really amazing, because you got people engaged in a conversation and really thinking about the city belongs to me.
Yeah.
I actually have a say in how I want it to look and feel.
Yeah.